the greatest honor to welcome our national president, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, who's fondly called as CKR, to this speaker session, along with presidents and office bearers and participants of all other LMAs to this speaker session, hosted by Thrissur Management Association and supported by all other LMAs. We are truly blessed by the gracious presence of our honorable and admired speaker, CKR, this evening. And we are grateful to you, sir, for accepting this invite to address us. And on this occasion, it is something very special for the entire LMAs of Kerala to hear from you about the topic, how to build a strong enterprise. You are always a great source of strength, and your positive energy is always remembered with love and respect by the LMAs throughout whenever we had the opportunity to interact with you. Dear audience, you will know more about CKR when Colonel Achari will introduce you to him prior to his speech. Let this talk be a token of dedication to strengthen the mutual bond between the LMAs of Kerala, and for that, I specifically wish to congratulate Mr. Vinod Manila for taking the lead, and for bringing all LMAs together and passionately driving it to make it happen. Appreciating you, Mr. Vinod, for that initiative. Having said this, and with these few words, I wish to conclude the welcome speech by saying a specific profuse thanks for inviting CMA along with other LMAs, and sincere thanks to all participants, office bearers of other LMAs at the same time. I once more welcome the entire participants to this speaker session, and specifically Mr. C.K. Ranganathan to this speaker talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Anathamani. Now, may I call upon the President of TMA, Engineer Vinod Manjula, for the presidential address.
Thank you, Francis. Respected President of AIMA, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, President and members of all LMAs of Kerala, invited guests, and my dear friends. This is history in the making. For the first time, all the 10 LMAs of Kerala have come together for a joint program. The LMAs of Kerala have a cordial relationship and help each other to grow. We have had many gratifying experiences with other LMAs. For example, we are in the process of making a vision document for Thrissur 2040, and the Palakkad Management Association past president, Mr. Sumesh, came all the way to Thrissur to advise us on how to do it. Our student chapter is very strong this year. Under CMA Madhu, we have around 1,000 students. And on January 25th, the past president of Kerala Management Association, Mr. S.R. Nair, took a session to these children on how to write a business plan. And the district center had approached us to mentor some of the stress units. And one of the units wanted to do a survey in Calicut. I just gave a ring to the Calicut Management Association President, Mr. Anathamani, and he readily agreed. Why? To cut it short, yesterday, the Pala Management Association Secretary called to say that he has recommended his friend from Thrissur to join TMA, and it is in the process. So this is the kind of relationship the LMAs in Thrissur have. But I think it is time now that all the LMAs of Kerala come together and do a signature project for Kerala that will have lasting impact on the people of Kerala. And we are capable of doing that. Friends, this evening, I'm extremely happy that our president and my friend, Mr. CKR, is here to address us. For many in the industry, he is a source of inspiration. He has gone to prove how a small organization coming from a remote South India can challenge some of the giants in the industry and make a niche for himself. This is an era of disruption, and many large organizations are feeling the heat. So it will be good to understand what is the DNA of a strong organization, what are the changing trends in the industry, and how industries are preparing to be future ready. Having built a strong enterprise himself, I'm sure Mr. CK will enlighten us on this topic. Wishing you all an insightful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinod. Now, let me call upon the President of Kerala Management Association, Mr. R. Madhav Chandran, for a special address.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. Very good evening to the President of this event, Mr. Vinod Manjula of TMA, our esteemed Chief Guest or the Speaker of the Day, and our Doyen of Management Associations, the Indian President, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan of AIMA, all other office bearers of all the LMAs of Kerala, distinguished members are present here. This is a very historic day, as Mr. Vinod said it rightly. I bring greetings from all the members and managing committee members of the oldest LMA of Kerala and one of the oldest in the country and a founding charter member of AIMA, Kerala Management Association. We have been doing many events in the past also where we wanted to make other LMAs cooperate with us, and all of them were wholeheartedly coming forward for all our big events. But this is a platform which our AIMA president of this term mooted during the first meeting which we had earlier, and he said that let us have a southern region LMAs consortium kind of a thing so that we can upscale our activities. And congratulations, hearty congratulations to Mr. Vinod Manjula for taking it forward so fast in this challenging times of pandemic when we are all thinking twice before venturing out to do anything. So he at least did this on this online platform. And here we are making a very, very historic initiative where all the 10 LMAs, I mean, this is a state where we have the maximum number of LMAs and the highest number of LMAs in the country. Actually, the state is concerned. The small state of Kerala has got so many of them, and we are all cooperating so well with that brotherly attitude. And as Mr. Vinod rightly said, we can very well, plan out anything which is a signature project. It need not be a, kind of materialistic thing. It can be anything which we can create, which will stand the test of times. And I'm sure in the course of time, we'll plan that. But this is a beginning which you have made. Let us take it forward, not only on the online platform, but also in the physical form also, as soon as this the clutches of the pandemic is going to get released. But now today, being a day when the budget has been released and with, kind of revitalize the economy looking forward, and with our AIMA president coming to address us, what more can we expect as a group of LMAs from Kerala to look forward to for a positive start? And I wish this particular movement of all our LMAs together a grand success in the days to come. And let us all hold hands together in this challenging time so that we can tide over all this crisis and look forward to a very positive tomorrow. Let's wish each other good times and look forward to listening to our leader, Mr. Ranganathan. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chandran. Now, may I call upon the President of Pala Management Association, Colonel KNV Achari, for introducing the Chief Guest of the Day and the Speaker, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. Respected Chief Guest, Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, President, AIMA, Sri Vinod Manjula, heading the group of LMAs of Kerala, presidents of LMAs of Kerala, and all esteemed members of these LMAs, Mr. Anubhav, who has come from AIMA, joined from AIMA, and all honorable guests and invitees. Good evening once again. I am highly privileged and honored to introduce Sri C.K. Ranganathan, our respected President AIMA, to you all. Although we know him well, in the first ever event of the group of 10 LMAs of Kerala, created by the initiative of Sri Vinod Manjula, President of TMA, for which Pala Management Association is grateful to him. Mr. C.K. Ranganathan was born in Kudalur to parents with primary interests in education. He took up his bachelor's in chemistry, and after a short stint in the family business, he set up Chick India. The company began its journey as Chick India and was renamed as CavinKare Private Limited in 1998 with a starting investment of only rupees 15,000. The company manufactures and markets many products under the brand of Chick, Spins, Fairweather, Mira, Nile, Raga, Professional, Kartika, Indica, Cavin's Ruchi, Chinese, Ma, Back to 5, and Garden, etc., both in domestic and international markets. The company has pioneered the concept of unisex salons in India with country's most popular organized beauty salon brands, Green Trends and Limelight, under the salon division, which has a clear-cut focus on providing personal styling and beauty solutions to everyone in the family. Mr. Ranganathan is the chairman of CII, Southern Region, for the year 21-22. He is also the president of TIE, Chennai chapter, and also president of All India Management Association for the year 21-22, as you all know. C.K. Ranganathan is one of the founder members of Ability Foundation, an NGO working towards the rehabilitation of the disabled. He instituted CavinKare Ability Awards to celebrate annually the exemplary spirit of rare breed of individuals who have risen above their physical limitations to display that attitude is everything. He also instituted an annual Chinni Krishnan Innovation Awards to encourage small entrepreneurs in memory of his father, Sri R. Chinni Krishnan, the man who pioneered the sachet revolution. This is what you have officially learned about him. We need to read between the lines. He grew from an ordinary life to the stage on his own efforts. His establishment grew from strength to strength. He proved what our beloved president, Dr. Abdul Kalam, once said: if you want to shine like a sun, first you burn like a sun. He has also proved that ego and jealousy will never go with his hard work, helping hand, team spirit, love and concern for subordinates and others. High standard of professional etiquettes and personality with positive attitude and effective leadership paved his way to success. Yet, he believes that success is a journey, not a destination. And therefore, the process has to go unabated. That is how and why he is at the helm of affairs of All India Management Association, which is also presently heading the Secretariat of Asia Association of Management Organization. His passion and concern for the people of his place and persons with disabilities is evident from the kind of awards he is instituted for specially abled employees. The educational institutions like CK School of Practical Knowledge, CK College of Engineering and Technology, both in Kudalur. A unique feature of these institutions is that the experts from the company teach the students regarding real life cases and practical application of mind besides entrepreneurship and small business models, with an aim to catch them young to make them capable professionals and businessmen. We have been seeing and interacting with him quite often. I personally feel that the younger generation need to extract and imbibe the essence of his exemplary professionalism and effective leadership. The topic, how to build a strong enterprise, on which he will be speaking to us today, I feel, will be a reflection of his abilities and professionalism. Let's listen to him. Best wishes and thank you all. Over to the.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, all. It's indeed a great pleasure to be with you and share my thoughts. First of all, I congratulate Vinod Manjula for having done an excellent job in bringing all the 10 LMAs of Kerala under one roof. I think this is a fabulous thing, cooperative movement. We look forward to many more such kind of things. I'm very happy and inspired by the initial what you said, how the cooperation with other LMAs and eventually led to membership increase also, somebody wanting to become members. It is very nice to hear such kind of anecdotes. So keep it up, Vinod. Very, very proud of you. I want to talk about how to build a strong enterprise in the new era of COVID. I think the post-COVID, the way that things have changed dramatically. Instead of telling a general kind of this thing, I thought what is relevant today is what I'm going to talk more. You all know that COVID has put a lot of challenges, a lot of learnings for all of us in the last few years, 2 years, and many things. What we used to do, we never thought we can work from home, and a lot of us have experienced, forced to do that. And work from home has become a reality. A lot of employees are not willing to come on a full time for office. That is also happening in many parts of the world. So even Corona is going to be behind. The work from home, combination of work from home and work from office is going to be a way of life, is what is currently evolving. I would ask Vinod, can I have the slide which I sent?
Yes, it'll be put now.
Technology, yeah, I think this is one thing I want to draw your attention. Technology is eating every industry. So look at the 2006, 5 publicly traded companies by market cap. In 2006, you look at ExxonMobil, GE, and the total, like all these things are Citi. All these companies are, other than one company, all are non-technology companies. In 2011, Exxon is there, and there is some this thing. There is Apple just emerged. Then, if you look at Microsoft, only was there in 2006. Now, in 2016, all the old economy companies are replaced in market cap. Only if you look at Apple, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and look at the valuation. Valuation has gone through the roof in trillions. So can you come down a little bit more, Vinod? Little bit more.
Yeah.
That's good. So look at the kind of this thing. Apple is 2.36 trillion. So like that, it is all not in billions, it has become in trillions. Valuation is going through the roof. As a result, what's happening is the technology companies are having enormous money, and they are buying offline companies and make them much more technologically savvy. So one thing is very clear. I think this slide tells us a story. And even look at Amazon. When Amazon was first online bookstore company, many thought it's an online bookstore. Now, what is the success it will make? Suddenly, offline bookstore companies started getting this thing shivers and got vanished over a period of time. I think the kind of companies which used to be there had a chain of stores, all are gone. But what Amazon did is, if you look at their technology, is at the heart. At the heart of the business, the technology is very well wired. Every department, every action. They started, everything is automated. Any process, anything right, MIS is readily available to anybody in the system. It is not that we, in our this thing, if you look at, we download in Excel sheets and create this thing and make an MIS and look at that. Our managers spend a lot of time. And nowadays that also gone. A lot of companies are getting ready-made MIS. But are we getting ready-made MIS? The latest thing is each position, each roles, a sales officer, they get a separate app. And they get the ready-made MIS, on-time ready-made MIS. And also inferences based on the past data and trajectory. You can make decisions. All it calls for is there is a system predicted insights available, inferences available. You have to make your own judgment call and move on further. So every position, there is a vice president of finance, he has a different thing. Accounts person has a different app. The MIS is readily available. And that's the way the world is going. So what Amazon did is, do you think they had started like a traditional company, going and meeting every customer? No, it is all online. They started studying the psychology of the customer, psychology of employees. For your information, Amazon has over 8 lakh employees. And for managing that 8 lakh employees, they have their own IT department. And for HR alone, for managing HR modules, for managing these 8 lakh employees, 600 and odd employees are working in creating software, updating, and continuously employee-related satisfaction, their measurement, who will be leaving the company, all these things, their engagement, everything they're tracking so closely. So they started reading the psychology of all the stakeholders through data. This is a big shift. So as a result, data has become a new source of oil. So that is, I think, very well used. The technology companies use data very well. Right quality data, that is data governance, is very well practiced. So it is very important that the way they use the data, the way the people at the kind of this thing, they are very, very clear. Another thing I've noticed in the technology companies, I think yet to come into the regular stream of companies, the old economy companies are yet to embrace that. It is the OKR, objective and key results, the way they track the goals. Amazing, outstanding, the transparency that brings in. We for the last 1.5 years, we have used that model OKR, and there is a company from US, we are using that software as a SaaS model. And any employees, their progress, everything, you see every employee has a review every week, very clearly, their personal goals, their combined organizational team goals, very different method of functioning, the technology companies. I think I would very strongly recommend, do not ignore that. We require to completely change or adapt, at least many of us. I think I'm happy if many of us are already in the roadmap of changing, but the time is limited. We need to change fast. So all I am trying to say is analytics, AI-led analytics, artificial intelligence-led analytics is going to make a big difference in sustenance of our old economy companies. So building an efficient and capable enterprise, it is the data at the heart, data analytics as a core competence of the organization, data-based decision-making as a very, very important thing, and real-time data is a very, very important thing. So are we changing into that, or somebody is going to prepare MIS? Oh, I will get last week data only now. I will get only last month data now. Those are gone. Very, very kind of this thing. We are in a very different world. This is all will happen. Suddenly, who moved my cheese? You would have read a book called Who Moved My Cheese? About 1.5 decades ago, it was there in the shelves. And I think suddenly the kind of this thing, we are thinking that it is there. The cheese is there everywhere. The business is nothing happening. It's going well. Suddenly one day, slowly but steadily, the cheese will completely disappear. Same thing should not happen to our business. So data analytics, and these are very, very important asks, the skill set and the kind of this thing. So it calls for reskilling our employees, are also infusing new employees with that kind of a skill set. I was touring US about 4 years ago. I went to multiple companies. It was an organized tour by a education tour operator. So went to Airbnb, GE, to many companies, about Silicon Valley Bank, so many technology companies we visited. And they made a presentation as to what they are doing. I was amazed at the way even the Airbnb, the Salesforce, all these companies, the way they are making them a presentation, they made a presentation. Their data analytics, those kind of people are marketing people, are not our traditional this thing. So the traditional marketing people are all not there. So they will decide based on the data, they make decisions. So they have data scientists. They say, the Airbnb said, they had 25,000 insights mined out of the data. 25,000 insights last 1 year. At that time, they said, the last 1 year, 25,000 and our data we mined. And we effectively used about 4,600 and our data, my insights. And what happened is in the World Cup, last World Cup that held in Europe, that is France, they had 25% of the market share filled. They planned 25% of the market share was completely this thing by them. They held it. So it is all a very clear kind of this thing, the way they interact with the customer. So this is very important. Read the psychology of the stakeholders, act swiftly, very fast, using data. This is a new ask. The other thing I would say is other important thing I would say is swift adaptability as a culture. Are we taking too much time? Okay, this is a change required. How fast I am changing? How fast I am able to change my organization? Or I take my own time? This is a very important ask. The new generation sustenance are building a new organization. Adaptability, the fast adaptability is a very, very important thing. Other important thing is ability to develop foresight. I, as a leader, do I develop a foresight very clearly? Can we mute our this thing, Mr. Nandakumar? Can you mute your this thing, please? Okay, thanks. So, the ability to develop foresight. What will happen to my sector? What will happen to my company? What is the way the kind of this thing is evolving across the globe? So, that foresight, what will happen next 5 years from now? How the whole thing industry will perform? That foresight, developing that foresight is an important ask for the top management team, and mainly the CEO at the helm of affairs. They need to be very clear. Can you tell a story as to how my industry will evolve? Not your company, the industry, the sector in which you operate, how it will evolve in India, how it will evolve in the world. And that's an important ask. Therefore, navigate your business accordingly. So, yeah. Thanks. So another important thing is future-proof your business by experimenting with new technologies and framework. So experiment with new technologies, experiment with new frameworks. Business frameworks are changing. Can you constantly do that? So new technologies, keep doing it, because that's one way to future-proof. You can't be telling, oh, I used this technology 10 years ago or 5 years ago, I'll continue to use it. Keep changing as it evolves, keep changing that. So the other one I would say is, two other things I would like to make a point. How well, because an organization is a... Hello? Thanks. An organization is a combined, is an entity of combined knowledge of all the people in the organization. That's not only that. Somebody will be very knowledgeable, very capable, but how far you are leveraging that knowledge towards strategy, towards execution, this is very, very important. If the culture is not good, you won't be able to leverage. Are you creating a very, very performing culture? Are you creating a culture that will extract the knowledge available with your own employees, with your stakeholders, with your vendors? Or no, I know everything, I will not interact with my vendors, I don't tap them at all. So I think it's a very important new way of competing is getting the kind of knowledge leveraged across all these stakeholders is a very, very important ask. And as a subset to that is, how do I enhance my knowledge of my own employees? Are they continuously upgraded? It's not a training and development. For example, I would say what we do is in the last 3 years, we have been practicing it. We give 1 hour of definite time for reading a particular topic, which is predefined in each function. If HR is there, this is what we need to familiarize with our this thing. So we do that every 1 hour, they have to do that one hour a day. And Friday, they will make a presentation as to what they are supposed to learn. What is the learning out of that? They have to complete that syllabus. There is a lot of checks and balances we have created. And how they are going to use the knowledge. That's very important. Finally, I've read, and what I've understood is not important. That's only just a prelude. But how am I going to make use of this for the benefit of the organization, for the benefit of my function? This is happening as a ritual. For monitoring that, we have 4 people in the company across all the things. I can tell you the kind of ideas, the kind of knowledge, what we have developed after implementing this IAY, we call it Invest in Yourself as a program, is amazing. So knowledge continuously, how do you enhance the knowledge of your own team members is very, very important. That is one, is what I would say. The other very, very important thing is there are 2 types of, there is a top management, there is a middle management, there is a bottom level people who kind of do a lot of routine jobs. I think there is a role play very clearly. A lot of companies miss that. The top management, by virtue of their own thing, need to spend 60% of their time in creating future. They should not work for today, not for this week. What will happen? 40% you can guide your team members as to what happened, but you plan for next quarter or next 6 months, next year. So it is a very detailed planning. Is there a culture? Do you measure it? These technology companies are doing. The new generation companies, the top management, by virtue of their own thing, they don't work for today. The middle management run the organization. They do the day-to-day because so clearly given what is that, how they will be measured, what kind of a thing. When they have a struggle in decision making, they go to the top management. The top management spends 40% of their time in day-to-day management for reviewing, for clarifying, for any kind of this thing, for any challenges that comes in. So all these areas only they spend. Balance 60% is spent in creating the future, envisioning the future. I think we need to ask ourselves, are we doing it? This is a very important ask. Are we doing the kind of the thing as a top management? Am I living for today or this week only? Or am I looking at next quarter? No, I have evolved to next year itself or 6 months from now. How detailed working? So many times we don't do that because these companies have clearly documents, very clearly have given digital documentations as to very step by step what needs to be done for executing the goal. So that's the level of details they work. So this is an important ask. So I would say that keep experimenting with new business model. That is also an efficient business model. You need to challenge your own business model and say, what is it evolving? Have a close review of what's happening. We have we have created our own R&D department. We are very happy that we did it, and that's why we have grown well. Now we are creating another department, which is a kind of this thing as social insights department. Is a kind of 1+4 people we are now this thing instituting. And that what it does is, what is my competition Unilever does in Mexico for brand Sunsilk? What is brand Sunsilk is being done in US? What is it done in Brazil? Like that, I think you start tracking once in a quarter about what is happening in this brand, about 7 or 8 critical brands which are really making a difference across the globe. So also some very good local players who are very innovative in the respective countries. We started tracking, we get a lot of insights. So that kind of a new insights or new method of doing is an idea. It's not done in India. I can be the first. It's a borrowed innovation. It's called borrowed innovation. Somewhere somebody has done it. But the moment I get to know if it is done, why can't I do it here? So we have created a department for that. So which is a very important, we already started getting a lot of ideas based on that. It is be it in HR, be it in finance, you can start looking at where you wanted to do. Can we create a kind of this thing, constantly, systematically harvesting ideas that's happening in your competing industries across the world. And that would make a big difference. So I would say that generally given all these things, these are the new changes that's required, but the basic thing doesn't change, which is strategy, structure, people, process, and automation. So I just repeat strategy, this is in order. It doesn't jump. First comes idea, a great strategy, very well documented, very clearly argued. This will win. This is how I have a very good idea. And for executing the strategy, I require a fantastic structure. A structure means right capability required. What is the capability required to execute that is defined? Once you understand what is the capability required for executing the strategy for each function, from each function, then you go for the right man for the right job. You identify the right resource, matching that structural requirement, the capability. So that's the third thing. The next one is once the people are there, they define a process. A lot of times when we evaluate it, we are a person-dependent organization. If that person goes, there is gap. Another person is to come. So we need to make it a foolproof. The technology companies are process-driven. They are not person-driven. A person may go. The attrition is very high in order in tech companies. But they do quite a lot of things by giving shares to stakeholders, all the employees, they retain as much as possible. Share liberally, the wealth creation is very liberally shared. That also would go a long way. This is a new thing that's happening. So that way, if you don't do it, your top management people, some of the key talent will be lured by another company. So I would say strategy, structure, people, process, and finally automation. Whether it is IT automation, everything, please weave it so that your strategy, you will know minute to minute what is the progress. No, it is, you will not ask, oh, what is happening? Can you tell me? You don't need to ask. It should be readily available in your app. Readily available. You should be able to see where is the problem, why it is not happening. If you can weave that way, if you can automate, I think at the time of conceiving the strategy itself, everything is done, then you are ready for a high growth trajectory. I think I stop here because I have been given a very limited time. I have already exceeded 5 minutes. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I think because as LMA and AIMA also, we practice time management is very key. So I stop here, thanks a lot. And over to Q&A sessions. I can answer any Q&A.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Sikya. It was very insightful, and how technology is going to take over. And I'm sure this, when applied to our industries, will make a huge change. Thank you. Great takeaways. Now the session is open for Q&A.
I'm Anandamani from Calicut, President.
Yes, sir.
So one question, we have just seen the budget is out. So how do you feel that the markets are going to behave in the near future, and where the economy is headed to in this post-COVID world with all the push and pulls and the threats that are still coming? What are your views with respect to the present day budget and how it is coming up?
I feel that we are well placed, Mr. Anandmani. I can elaborate why. Because in the last 2 years, government has given series of SOPs. Though they said 20 lakh plus crores they have given, whatever has come to various industries in many forms of SOPs. We can differ. It is not 20 lakh crores. It's all decorated. It will be 10 lakh crores. Let's not get into that nuances. But finally, money has come to MSMEs, to various other industries in form of various aids. So that, I think, is spurring the growth. And you can see sustained. First quarter was a very challenging first quarter for this year. That is April, June of 21. But after that, this is recovered. And now, even despite the COVID setbacks, 141,000 crores GST collection. A lot of sectors are coming back. And that's a very, very good sign. And still some sectors are ailing. Tourism, one of the important things Kerala is dependent on, is definitely at a receiving end still. So I think some of the sectors are not participating. Once they also participate well, fortunately, the coronavirus, the Omicron, seemed to be less lethal. And 1 week you can isolate yourself. The fear of that also, isolate yourself and come out after that. So that is happening more and more. Given that kind of a thing, I think the fear of corona, particularly this wave, is lesser. Unless a new mutation comes, it is going to be very, very dangerous. Then I think the fear may again grip. That let's hope it doesn't. So given the current thing, I think the economy is going to bounce back very well, and already it is bouncing back. So we have seen that the GDP growth maybe 8.6% is a target they are working on, which is achievable. Given the kind of impetus what they are making into infrastructure spending, very high infrastructure spending, which is very good welcome sign. This is what we have been recommending the government for a long time. Spend more. If you look at America in the 1930s or China in the 80s, they disproportionately invested in bridges, ports, all the infrastructures. And based on that, it's a broad-based economic recovery. Many industries, many things thrived, and large employment creation. And this is exactly what we wanted. Government more spending instead of giving money as subsidy and other things. I think this would go a long way. If you ask me, can the government could have done more? Yes, of course. But given the kind of this thing that already growth rate is very good growth rate, I think having spent more, they are trying to be safer because the fiscal deficit is at 6.9%. They want to bring it down to 6.4. And in 25-26, they want to bring it down to 4.5 around. Given that kind of this thing, that I think it's important, their spending limitations is also reduced. Probably I am also, my heart is for the common man. More income tax benefit for slab should be raised. More liberal on that could have been much better for individuals is my viewpoint. Also, I expected like the companies should get like a new manufacturing companies a 15% tax break. Can that be brought down further and further so that eventually 15% everybody, all the companies pays income tax would have been nice going forward. But those are far, maybe a decade away or 2 decades. We don't know.
Sir, I am Colonel Achari, President of Pala Management Association. Feedback from the subordinates is an important aspect of management. Now, taking feedback from individuals is time consuming. Could a brief meeting every day can be one of the ideas, or can it be automated, and how it can be automated?
Yeah, it is. If you are seeking ideas for growth, if you are seeking ideas for a problem, I think call the concerned people who would be able to add value. There is a management concept called 2 pizza rule. That means you need to have people, when you deliberate and debate and discuss and take decisions or bringing ideas, have pizza which can be shared with how many people? A pizza can be shared with maybe 5 people, 6 people, 6 slices or 4 slices. So if you say that if it is this thing, don't have more than 10 or 12 people. That's it.
Yes.
So that if you apply the 2 pizza rule, you may get in debates and discussion, you may get very good solutions, not more than that. The lesser the number is merrier, better.
Correct. Yes, yes.
Same way, getting ideas from people, ask what kind of this thing, have an idea session and have a challenge, highlight the challenge and ask the navigate the team only to revolve around that than getting distracted.
That's right.
If you can this thing, do orchestrate that kind of a session, I think phenomenal benefit will come. What we need to do is, can we do it every month for every divisions or every functions in a systematic, organized way, so that employees are very clear. First, Wednesday means there will be a HR, ideas and other problem solving session. So I need to be there. So these are kind of this thing you can do a very orchestrated and ensure it is followed by T. Without now, oh, suddenly the CEO remembers, he will call, otherwise everybody will forget. Can we make it as a routine? Can we make it as a habit?
That's it. Thank you, sir.
And the very important thing is, once the idea is given, employees are more keen. What's happening to my idea? Is it taken out or it is kept in the cold burn? A lot of time we give idea, nothing is implemented yet. So you need to say that why we are not implementing certain things, why it is appealing, so that they are able to think and come back with very practical solutions, what we are looking for. I think a feedback to them also would go a long ways, my experience.
They need to be kept informed.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yes.
And many times what
Mr.
we give these ideas won't work. Why it won't work? We have tried in the past. All these things we give in the open house itself.
Yes.
So that they are aware. So they start thinking in a much better way. The same person comes back with a much refined idea next time.
That's right.
Mr. Ranganathan, Anand Menon, past president TMA.
Brilliant
talk, sir.
Thank you.
Every Friday you give a study material. Every day make the presentation. Each employee reads for 1 hour and then makes a presentation. Have you implemented any of these ideas which have come recently?
Very quite a lot. That is
for
the organization idea started functioning. We are inventing the future based on knowledge we develop.
This study material is for their particular area of development, or
no? There are 2 things. One, it is their area, their function related things.
Yes.
To what they need to learn and what they need to look at as to what new knowledge they will come. So that is a very important ask. And I think that is a very clear thing. It is everything is done predefined, because we ask the function, which area all your employees put together in your function, develop knowledge will be useful to the function and therefore to the company. So that question is first asked. So based on that, the subject is decided. Otherwise, it's not tomorrow morning I'll wake up, something I have to give a reading material for that person. It doesn't work, because it's very clearly predefined which will bring benefit to the company.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Let's take one last question. Yes, please.
Well, I'm Rajesh Jha from the Management Association. I saw the graph of technology companies moving from 2006 to 2021, and that was beautifully presented by Mr. Ranganathan. Any idea about how the technology companies are moving in India? Is it the same kind of jump that they are taking, or the picture is somewhat different?
No, I think it is what we have seen is all the end. They control their destiny. They are not a service provider to some other tech companies or other this thing. In Indian companies are not product based or less. If you look at more, I think we are software service companies. So we are squeezed on that. The way we go on present is my per person will cost so much. This job will involve so much kind of this thing people cost, and therefore you give me like that is a kind of thing time and this thing is estimated. So given that, I think our technology companies are performing much better than other compared to industry. They are having a decent margin, very good margin, I would say. But compared to Apple and the kind of this thing, Microsoft of the world, they are in a very different thing, sir. They are in a very different trajectory. They have their own brand name. They have their own products. So that way, I think they are on a very different trajectory is what I would say.
So do you see the companies like Apple or Microsoft coming and breeding ground in India, or we are quite far away from that time yet?
I think I would say that you look at China, they have banned a lot of this thing like Google, they have banned Amazon. So they have not allowed. As a result, what happened? The Chinese companies have become the Alibaba, the Amazon equivalent. They could able to develop like that. Then you have the kind of Google equivalent like that. Quite a lot of technological revolution has happened once they kind of this thing. Here, the moment you allow we are an open country. We can't do the way China did. So the moment you allow Apple, Microsoft, everybody in the kind of this thing, what happens is even Facebook, everybody, they are a big entity by themselves. They spend a lot of money. So when such kind of products and benefits available, a brand and a well-known brand, a local entrepreneur cannot easily blossom. So that's a kind of difficulty it is. So that slot is identified. Unless we are innovative and come with a new idea. What happens, a new idea, somebody starts up, then it requires fund. The entrepreneur, after some time, he sells it off and moves away. He gets a good money for that. These companies are looking for buying ideas which are proven, which are small, still small in size. They pay 1 billion, 2 billion, then they buy it. And they make it big.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Ranganathan. That was a wonderful session, and thank you for sharing your experiences born out of, or rather wisdom born out of practical experiences. We have a few felicitations lined up, and 5 different felicitations. In fact, I would request each of the felicitators to keep it short due to the paucity of time. Exactly 2 minutes have been allotted to each felicitator. May I first call upon Mr. Rajesh Jha, the President of Trivandrum Management Association, for the felicitation.
Yeah, thank you very much for doing this collaborative effort, Mr. Manjila. I think we all are really happy that we have come on a common platform. And the kind of talk that was given by Mr. Ranganathan, he said nicely what is happening to technology ideation that is going on in the country. It is like buying the idea sapling. That is what he defined, that the moment there is some mushrooming of the ideas, and then the technology company that is so pervasive in the country, they are buying that out and they are growing. But that is giving rise to a lot of germination of good ideas in the country. And in the last 2 years, what we have seen, that technology has allowed us to collaborate more and more. And with that, I think we at the Management Association will collaborate. And with this, I would like to thank Mr. Ranganathan for a very, very interesting talk, and Mr. Vinod Manjila and all the participants for this session today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jha. Next, let me call upon the President of Koilon Management Association, Mr. Franklin Daniel.
Good evening,
Mr.
everybody.
Daniel.
Good evening, everybody. So, respected chairperson of this event, Mr. Vinod Manjila, Honorable Chief Guest of the Day, C.K. Ranganathan, all LMA presidents and secretaries, all LMA members, and who are participating in this meeting. So, I am privileged to be given an opportunity to facilitate this grand event. First of all, I congratulate Mr. Vinod Manjila and his team to organize this all Kerala Management Associations together to conduct this program. Mr. C.K. Ranganathan has briefly explained the points related to how to build a good enterprise, like database analysis, how to experiment with new technologies, top management roles, getting new ideas and strategies to be followed. I hope these points and his briefings are very useful to all entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs and incoming entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs and all management students who are preparing to be entrepreneurs. Once again, I thank C.K. Ranganathan for his excellent presentation. I hope we will all together work together to make such a programs in future also. I hope our effort will be in great success for future events also. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Let me call upon the President of CavinKare Management Association, Mr. Jijo Joseph, for the felicitation. Mr. Jijo Joseph, are you on? I guess he's not. Let's move on. Let me call upon the President of Wycombe Management Association, Mr. Shashi Gopalan, for the felicitation.
Are you seeing me? Hello?
Yes, yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for giving an opportunity to facilitate the speaker as well as the conclave, conducting a conclave of LMS in Kerala. The speaker was given very limited time, but anyway, within the limited period, he has definitely put some ideas into our mind, and it was nicely presented. I congratulate the speaker, and as AIMA chief, he will definitely help us in conducting similar programs. Though the pandemic situation is here in Kerala, we hope that by the end of February, we will be able to have physical meetings, which probably I like more. So anyway, once again, congratulate all the managers, all the associations who came forward to having such a conclave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gopalan. Next, let me call upon the President of Alleppey Management Association, Mr. R. Krishnan, for the felicitation.
Good evening, one and all. It's been a brilliant session, fabulous, let me put it across. First of all, kudos to Vinod Manjila for the wonderful thought of bringing all of us together. In fact, many of us are meeting for the first time. Pandemic has had its toll. And a topic from a very important personality like Ranganathan just thrown open many ideas for thoughts. In fact, in a place like Kerala, where the technology as well as the development of business is in direct conflict, I think this has opened avenues for thoughts and probably to take each one of our profession and business to a different level, given the right direction. Thanks to all the people behind this effort in bringing all the LMAs together, and special thanks to Mr. Ranganathan for sharing his thoughts from the way he has put it across and how it has been successful in his business. I'm sure this will carry rich values in our personal life as well as in business. And this meaningful meeting will also be an opener for many such events of all the LMAs put together. Thank you, organizers, and thanks for the wonderful show this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Krishnan. The next item on the agenda is the official launching of TMA Management Voice, which is the quarterly magazine by TMA. The first issue of the magazine is what is going to be released today. In fact, the issue features Mr. Ranganathan. So we'll be honored if Mr. Ranganathan releases the issue.
Thank you.
Yes, just two words. Friends, every 4 years, AIMA chooses a leader from Southern region. And this time we have our leader, Mr. CKR, and we have dedicated our management voice to him with the cover, with his photo and made stories about him. And I thank our editor, Ranjan Sridhan, for doing a great job. Please, Mr. CKR.
Thank you, Vinod. So nice of you. Thank you all.
The mask is coming in the way. By the mask, I mean the virtual mask. You know now we see it. Now we see it.
No, just give me a minute.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'll remove the virtual.
Thank you, sir.
So just remove the virtual background.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Now we have. Sorry, please go ahead.
Very nicely done. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a memento to be presented to our chief guest with gratitude. Shobi, may I request you to
before that, on behalf of all the LMS in Kerala, so Kerala is known for coconuts. So these are products made of coconut by a all-woman self-help group. So on behalf of all the LMS of Kerala, please accept our token of appreciation.
Oh, it's an excellent piece. Very done. Art is outstanding. We love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we come to the last item on the agenda, that is vote of thanks. I would like to call upon the Vice President of Palakkad Management Association, CA Rajiv Ramnath.
Francis, can we have the poll? I mean, we are supposed to do a survey. That is what we suggested by CKR. After every program, we should have a. If it is ready, can we have it?
Yes. Shobi, can you post the link in the chat box, please?
So nice to see Vinod just practicing this. This would go a long way in terms of learning from our own stakeholders. This is what the tech companies are doing. Getting to learn from the stakeholders who are the active this thing. Have we fulfilled their expectation as to where it is? I think this makes us to also work harder as we go forward. Thanks.
Yeah. We took the cue from you. I remember you mentioned it once. We should have it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the link is there in the chat box. It would be grateful if you could just 3 questions. If you could just answer that.
Yeah. So request everyone once again to click on the link, copy it before you log off. Copy it. Click on the link, and complete the survey. It'll be a quick one. Now, let me request CA Rajiv Ramnath, the Vice President of Palakkad Management Association, to do the vote of thanks.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Truly a wonderful session hosted by Thrissur Management Association. Normally, the online programs, we are flooded with a lot of online events nowadays. So many a times I give it a skip. But I am really happy that I was able to join this program, and also on behalf of the Palakkad Management Association and all the management associations. Truly a wonderful program, and as an entrepreneur myself, truly inspiring to hear from our speaker of the day. So let me go to my duty. First and foremost, the speaker for the day, C.K. Ranganathan. I personally, and on behalf of all the participants and the members of all the management associations from Kerala, I thank you for sparing your time and inspiring all of us to, or bringing our focus back to the technological aspect. Many enterprises in Kerala are small enterprises. We are probably in a doubt whether we are big enough or have grown enough to embrace technology, because embracing technology also involves a lot of cost. But I think going forward, by your words, we need to do that. And you have proved by walking your talk in your career. So thanks a lot on behalf of all the management associations and the host for taking part and speaking and inspiring all of us today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
And again, I thank the Thrissur Management Association President for leading such a joint venture between all the management associations. Definitely, if we are all able to work together, like what our chairman, Engineer Vinod Manjula said, as well as what the past district governor R. Madhavachandran and the current president of Kerala Management Association has mentioned, we can do projects which can be really useful for Kerala. Thank you for the great initiative of bringing all the management associations of Kerala together, and thank you for your leadership.
I would like to take a minute. Thank you very much for this thing. I thoroughly enjoyed. So I think Vinod Manjula deserves a big round of applause for having united all of us. I think very, very good, Vinod. Thanks a lot, and keep inspiring.
Thank you. I'm honored.
And I don't want to mention each and everyone, but before I go further, I thank the president of Kerala Management Association, Rotarian, and I call him Rotarian because I'm also Rotarian, the past district governor, Madhavachandran sir, also for addressing the gathering. Thanks a lot, sir. And on behalf, I congratulate for everyone for participating in this event, because truly inspiring event. Your 1 hour, every minute of that 1 hour was inspiring, I have to say. I am definitely going back with a lot of ideas. Some of the ideas which we already know, but we did not have the courage to implement it. But today, after listening to the man who has done it, definitely we are going back and trying to implement some of this. Thanks a lot for all the participants of this event. And let me tell you, any event is successful only because of the participants. So the biggest round of applause to all the participants who joined together. Over 100 people have attended today. So that's a wonderful, wonderful participation from all the associations. Thanks a lot. So thank you. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
I would like to also thank Mr. Anubhav, who has joined from AIMA Secretariat. Thank you, Mr. Anubhav.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope to have many more sessions.
Thank you.
See you all soon.
See you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Thank you all, presidents. So let us have some similar projects and similar webinars on a regular basis.
Sure.
And I think with the help of Kerala Management Association, I think we can think of a larger signature projects. Let's all work together.